All right, Stewart, Wesley. So we reviewed your extended scales, major and minor, and I decided that sliding is one thing that you could improve on. So if you want to do an extended scale this week, let's do slides. Here's E major. You can slide on whatever finger, usually first or second, but just pick one and stick with it. And if you change strings, change to minor, B minor. And just review in your mind that a minor scale is constructed by flattening the 3, the 6, and the 7. Okay, we did review your static blues scales. That's E major, and then E minor. Continue to warm up with these. You never want to forget how these go. And you haven't, so thank you. You remembered how they went. But we added a new category of scales, which are called active, and they move diagonally across the strings rather than a static scale is perpendicular, an extended scale is parallel, and an active scale will go at an angle. So I wrote it down as a G scale in your book because G is more common. So start at the third fret of the low E, and the first octave goes like this. So you're going to slide with your ring finger and then hammer on. Slide, hammer, and that's the octave. Now I can keep going to a second octave the same way, except for the B shift. We'll put that last note on my middle finger instead. So now it's a 2-octave scale. Tenemos todo was in G flat instead of G, which is a very odd key. So if you practice this a couple times, you should be able to at least noodle around with Tenemos and have a little bit of fun. So screw around with that, and then we're going to learn the progression and the intro. So the intro goes... just like an active scale, sliding on your third finger. They're using octaves, so it's a slightly different technique, but we didn't have time for that tonight. But those are the notes of the melody. And then the chord progression, so if G flat is your one chord, you can play a quick chord scale and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 4, 5 major, 2, 3, 6 minor. That's a universal template for major keys. But the closest way to play the 1, 4, 5 is 1, 4, 5, mixing the E form and the A form shapes. And then you get a 6 here with the A form minor. So 1, 4, 5, 6. So by putting those two ideas together, you get 1, 6, 2, 5. And you really just want to learn the geography of the progression rather than obsessing about what the chords are called, because they have odd names. G flat, E flat minor, A flat minor, and D flat major, because we're in an odd key. So this is the reggae strum. It's just 2 downstrokes per chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So I'm relaxing the muscles in my left hand, so I mute the strings after I strike them. That's called a left hand mute. And I'm striking just the highest 2 or 3 strings. 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 4. Da-da, boom, boom, boom. Da-da, boom, boom, da-da. Okay, now that's G flat. If you move half a step higher to G major and do the 1, 4, 5 box, which is G, C, and D, we can play the Souvenirs song. And that has a similar feel, but it's an up, down, up strum. So it's like... Let me put it on real quick to remind myself how it sounds. The intro is kind of long-winded, but then it settles down when the singing starts.
All the snow
okay, C.
underwater.
4 times. D.
Christmas days on the ground.
G.
Broken swords and faded colors.
Okay. So what happened right there is at the very end, well, we have a whole measure of C, 1, 2, 3, whole measure of D, 2, 3, 4, and then we have a split measure. So you play a G, And then you get lazy, leave your first finger down the 6th string and just flatten out the ring finger. That's called C/G, and then back. So that breaks the pattern in half, so it goes. Then you get a full measure of G. Walking by the water. Dun, 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 dun. So that's the vibe of that song, and then the chorus, I promised you, uses nothing but the G, C, and the D, numerically the 1, 4, and the 5. So use your ear and your knowledge of the song, I know you've heard it many times, and just see if you can figure out which chord is which. And it's not as hard as it sounds. I think you have a pretty good intuitive sense. So give it a shot and let me know how it turns out. See you, brother.